Hello everyone, this is Mr. Mahmud here. Today we are going to look at some last minute GCSE Maths revision. Now these questions will mainly focus on grade 4 and 5 questions to start off with. So I'll say around about the first 10 to 15 questions, and then they start getting slightly easier. So if you are taking the GCSE Maths Foundation or even the GCSE Maths Higher exam, then I would suggest you look at the first 10 to 15 questions. And if you are taking the GCSE Maths Foundation, then I would suggest you have a look at the whole of the video. Okay, so let's get started. So we have XYZ is a right angle triangle, XZ is 17 centimeters. So let's go to label the sides. An angle XZY is 44, so XZY is this angle here, is 44 degrees. Find YZ, so we're going to find what this side is, YZ. Give your answer to three significant figures. So we're finding this one, so let's label this as X. Now we can see there's an angle involved, there's a right angle triangle, so we can clearly see that is a trick question. So we're going to use ka or toa. So we're going to use one of these formulae. So let's label the sides first. We need to know which side is which in order to find out which formula to use. So let's label the opposite the hypotenuse. Well, opposite the right angle is always the hypotenuse. So this is hypotenuse. Opposite the angle given is adjacent, and the last one is opposite the angle given is opposite, and the last one is adjacent. So let's have a look which two sides are involved. A and H are involved because H we are finding. We don't know what X is, and A has 17. O does not have anything here, so let's cross out the O. So we're dealing with A and H. And out of these three, we have katoa. A and H is involved with the cos. So let's write down the formula. So cos theta is equal to A over H. Let's substitute the information in. So cos theta is equal to, so cos theta is 44 degrees. So let's put 44 degrees in there. A is 17, and H, we are finding H, which is X. Now when you get a calculation like this, what we can do is cross multiply or just swap X and cos 44. So X comes here, and then cos 44 goes where X was. So let's type this in our calculator, and if you type this in your calculator, that should give you an answer of 23.6327. Now the question is asking us to round it to three significant figures. So we got 1, 2, 3. Look at the number after the 6. It's 4 or less, so we don't need to round, well, we don't need to add anything. So we just need to leave it as 23.6, and the answer is in centimeters. Next, a new car depreciates at a rate of 21% for the first year. So underline any important information. 9% for every year after that. In January 2018, John buys a new car at a cost of 12,500. So buys in 2018. What will the car be worth in January 2022? So first year it depreciates at 21%. So we got 21%. And if we want to find out how much it depreciates by, or what is the value after depreciation, we can just multiply the actual amount or the value of the car by the multiplier of 21% depreciation. Okay, so the multiplier is 0.21. So basically I just divide 21 by 100. That gives me 0.21. I just take this away from 1 because the whole thing is 100% or 1, 0.21, and that gives me an answer of 0.79. Now if I multiply 0.79 by 12,500, so 12,500 times by 0.79, and that will give me the value after the depreciation, which is £9,875. Now 9% for every year after that. So he bought it in 2018. What will it be worth after in 2022? So that's 4 years. So 1 year is gone. So we got 3 more years left. Okay, so 3 more years. It will depreciate at 9% every year. So we're going to multiply 9,875, the value of the car that is remaining, by the multiplier 9% depreciation. So that will give us, let's do a little bit of calculation here. So 9%, the multiplier is 0.09. So 1 take away 0.09. I'm taking away because it depreciates, because it loses value, which is 0.91. 0.91. So I'm going to multiply it by 0.91 to the power of how many years? 3 years, because the 1 year is already counted for the depreciation the first year. The 3 more years remaining. And if you type this in your calculator, that should give you an answer of 7,441.5136. Let's stop here. Now, because it's money, we can only deal with up to 2 decimal places. Okay, so let's write down 7,441.5. Look at the one number after the 1. It's 4 or less, so we just leave it as 151 pence. Okay, and that's the answer for this one. Always double check that you are entering the values or the powers even in the calculator correctly. And we can also, you could possibly also have a compound interest question similar to this one as well. Next we have John. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Yeah, so John, Mike and James have some football stickers. Mike has 6 more than John. James has 3 times the amount of Mike. So 3 times. Mike has 6 more. Let's underline that. In total, they have 64 stickers. Find the ratio of John's stickers to Mike's stickers to James. So we need to find the ratio of John's to Mike's to James's. Okay. Now, first of all, let's start off with John, because John has, well, Mike has 6 more than John. Okay, so if we say John has X, so you're going to use algebra to solve this. Okay, Mike has 6 more than John. So Mike has 6 more, that means you add 6 to John's. And James has 3 times the amount of Mike. So if Mike has X plus 6, that means James has 3 lots of this. Well, 3 times X plus 6. You can expand the brackets if you want. So 3x plus 18. Okay, if you just expand it here, that'd be easier to use it later on. So you don't need to expand it when you form the equation. Okay, so in total they have 64 stickers. So let's add all of the stickers together. So we have John's X added to Mike is X plus 6. And then James has 3x plus 18. And altogether it adds up to 64 stickers. And that's what it says in the question. Let's simplify the left side. So x add x is 2x, add 3x is 5x. And 6 add 18 is 24. Is equal to 64. Let's solve the equation now. Take away 24 from both sides. That leaves us with 5x is equal to 40. and divide by 5 both sides. That gives us x is equal to 8. Now we need to write down their stickers in ratio. Okay, because find the ratio of John's stickers to Mike's stickers to James's stickers. Okay, so we're going to write down the ratio. So we need to substitute John. So let's find out what John was. So John is x, so value of x, so we've got 8 stickers. Mike is x plus 8, so it'll be 8 plus 6, which is 14. And James is 3x plus 18, so that would be 3 times 8 add 18. Let's do this a bit here. Let's draw a line through here so that we don't confuse with the other things that's going on there. 3 times 8 is 24, add 18, and that gives us a total of 42. We've got the numbers now. Let's write it as a ratio. So we have 8 John's to Mike's has 14, and James has 42. So 8 to 14 to 42. You can simplify it. It doesn't say in the question you need to give it into simplest form, but you can still go ahead and simplify. But I would leave it as 8, 14, 42. Okay, sorry, 8, 14 and 42. We are not simplifying it. Okay, sometimes you got the right answer, and then when you get to simplify and write your final answer on the dotted line, and you make a mistake. If you make a mistake in simplifying, that could possibly cost you a mark. So we don't want that. Next, Alan leaves Manchester at 9:05 or 9:05 and arrives in Chorley at 9:41. The distance between Manchester and Chorley is 9 miles. What was Alan's average speed for the journey? You must include the units in your answer. Okay, so we can see it's a compound measure question, speed, distance, time. Okay, now when you do compound measure or speed questions, usually use a triangle. Now I am not a big fan of triangles. Only reason is because people do make mistakes when they try to remember them, and sometimes they put the wrong letter in the wrong place. But there is a volume question at a volume, density and mass question coming up. So what I'll do is I'll do a triangle using that question, and this one I'll use a unit ratio. Okay, you'll see it's much easier to understand. Now, if this video is helping you, please do hit the like button and let me know, because if you hit the like button, it does help me understand whether these videos are helping you, and it helps me obviously organize or plan more videos for the future. Okay, and if it helps you, please do let me know in the comments as well. So let's start with this question. So he starts at 9:05 and arrives in Chorley at 9:41. Okay, so let's find the time altogether, what the time difference is. So 9:41, take away 9:05, and that gives us a total time which is 36 minutes. The distance between Manchester and Chorley is 9 miles. So distance we have, so that was our time. Let's label it as time, and we got a distance which is 9 miles. Okay, so we got, he travelled in 36 minutes, he travels 9 miles. So let's write this down. So 36 minutes, 9 miles. Okay, because we are finding the average speed, so our aim is to get to 1 hour or 60 minutes. So let's simplify this. Now our aim is to get to 60 minutes. Okay, and we're going to find how much miles it travels in 60 minutes. Now, in order to get from 36 to 60 minutes, what we can do is we can't go straight to 60, but we can divide this number by 9. That will give us 4 minutes. Okay, that means we have to divide the right hand side by 4 as well. Sorry, 9. Divide both sides by 9 because we divide this side, left side, by 9. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. Got 1 mile. Now from 4 to go to 60, can do it very easily by times it by 15. That means we have to times the right hand side by 15 as well. So 15 times by 1 is 15 miles. And 60 minutes is 1 hour. And in 1 hour it travels 15 miles. Now it says you must include the units in your answer. So we got 15 miles, so it'd be 15 miles per hour. Okay, so it's quite easy, isn't it? So you don't need to remember the formula, so you can just use unit ratio to work out what the average speed is in this question. If you like this method, let me know in the comments. Next, we have a probability tree diagram question. Okay, Alan plays 2 games of darts. He can only win or lose. The probability he wins the first game is 0.31. If he wins the first game, the probability he wins the second game is 0.64. And if he loses his first game, the probability that he wins the second game is 0.43. Complete the tree diagram. So for the tree diagram, the probability he wins the first game is 0.31. So we got the first information here, 0.31. Let's zoom in a little bit. So we have everything here. 0.31. Now we know that the tree diagram branches, they always add up to a whole or a 1. So the other branch will be 0.69. Now look at the information that we have next. If he wins the first game, the probability he wins the second game is 0.64. So if he wins the first game, so we're looking at here, that means he wins the probability he wins the second game is 0.64. So win 0.64. If he loses the first game, the probability that he wins the second game is 0.43. So if he loses his first game, the probability he wins the second game is 0.43. So let's write it and win 0.43. Now the game 2 branches need to add up to 1 as well. So 1 take away 0.64, that will give us 0.36. And 1 take away 0.43 will give us 0.57. Now when you get a question like this, I always advise my students to work out the probability on the right hand side of the branches. So let's have a look at game 1 win times by game 2 win, which is 0.31 times by 0.64. So 0.31 times by 0.64, and that gives us an answer of 0.1984. 0.1984. Now the reason I'm working out the probabilities is because there's a second part to this question where it says, what is the probability that Alan wins at least 1 game? So that's question B. I will need this information to answer the last part. What I do is I always work out the probability and then I look at the question and I will add up the parts I will need. Okay, so let's carry on working out the other branches. So win and lose, so 0.31. So we multiply along the branches, so that was the first 2 multiplied, now it's these 2. 0.31 times by 0.36, that gives us 0.116. 0.1116. Then we have 0.69, so we're going to do this bit here now. So 0.69 times by 0.43, that gives us an answer of 0.2967. and then 0.69 times by 0.57, so it's this way now. So 0.69 times by 0.57, that gives an answer of 0.3933. 0.3933. Now let's go to the final question, and this is asking us to find what is the probability that Alan wins at least one game. Now if he wants to win at least one game, that means he needs to win and win. So these two, win and win, that means he wins at least one game, and the probability is 0.1984. So let's write this down, 0.1984. And we're going to add the other probabilities. So he's winning at least one game. That means if he wins the first one and loses the second one, so let's get a different color. So we got win-win. Now if he wins the first one and loses the second one, that means they're at least winning one. Okay. So that will be 0.1116. So add 0.1116. And finally, if we have a look at the last branch, so lose and win. So we're looking at this. So we got lose and win. So if he's winning at least one of them. So therefore, it will count as winning at least one. So that would be 0.2967. So 0.2967. Now if you add them all up together, now the reason we're not looking at lose and lose is because he's not winning at least one here. So let's add them all three up, and that will give us the probability of him winning at least one game, which is 0.6067, and that's the answer for this one. Next question. So we have Alton Towers increase the price of admission by 12%. And then after the increase, the price of entry is £47.04. What was the price admission before the increase? So with this type of question, I always prefer to do a bar. The reason being is when I tell my students, so you need to times by this, divide by this, and times by this. And what they do is they always mess up. They just come out with some random numbers which doesn't make sense. So I always do a bar. Okay. Now let's say that this is 100%, so that's 0%. That's the start of the bar. That's 100%. And because the price increased by 12%, so let's add a bit more. Let's add, doesn't have to be accurately portioned, as long as you got an idea. Now because it's adding 12%, so the percentage will be 112% at the end. Now we know after the increase, the price of entry is £47.04. Now over here at the top, we're going to write down the price. So that's £0, 0%. And after the increase, we know the price is £47.04. So 112% is same as £47.04. Our aim is to get to 100%, the price before the increase. So this is the price before the increase at this point here. Okay, now what we need to do is first, we can find out what 1% is. So let's say that's 1. And then times the 1% price by 100 will give you the 100% price. Now in order to go from 112 to 1%, we need to divide it by 112. Because 112 divided by 112 is 1. That means we need to divide the price by 112 as well. So divided by 112. So £47.04 divided by 112. That gives us an answer of 0.42, which is 42 pence. Now, in order to go from 1% to 100%, we times it by 100. So that means we need to times the 42 by 100 as well. And that gives us an answer of £42 42.00, 42 pounds. So what was the price of admission before the increase? It was 42 pounds. And that's the answer. Pretty straightforward when you use bars. Next, we have a density question. A lead block has a mass of 1953.92 grams. The density is 11.36 grams per centimeters cube. Work out the volume of the lead block. Leave your answer to one decimal place. You must include the units in your answer. Okay, so we need to include the units in the answer. So this one I said I'm going to use the triangle. So we got the triangle here. And we have density at the bottom, mass at the top, and volume. A good way to remember it is always remember mass at the top. That means the other two is always at the bottom. You can use speed, distance, time triangle as well. Speed at the bottom, and distance at the top, and time at the bottom as well. So we have a mass of 1953.92. We are finding the density is 11.36 grams per centimeter cube. Finding the volume. So the volume formula is mass divided by density. So mass divided by density. So mass is 1953.92 grams. And the density is 11.36 grams per centimeters cube. Writing the units because it does say you must include the units in your answer. So it helps me write the units at the end. Now if you divide the numbers, then it will give you an answer of 172. So 172 centimeters cubed, and that's the unit of volume. Okay, so 172 centimeters cubed. So next we have so a Venn diagram question. There are 80 students in a school. 28 study both IT and RE, 14 study IT and not RE. A total of 53 students study RE. Okay, complete the Venn diagram. When you do Venn diagrams, always look at what they have in common and always start from the middle if you have the information available. Yes. So 28 study both IT and RE. So let's put down 28 in the middle. 14 study IT but not RE. Okay, so 14 study IT, just IT and not RE. That means we can put down 14 here. Now RE, there are 53 students, so they study RE. Now out of those 53, we know that we included the 28 over here. So we need to take away 28 from 53. So 53, take away 28, and that gives us an answer of 25. And over here we have 25 who study RE only. Now these three numbers does not add up to 80, so there are some leftovers. So what we need to do is find the number of students who do not study neither IT or RE. Okay, so we have 80, take away 14, take away 28, take away 25, and that gives us an answer of 13. Always double check on your calculator. And this number goes outside the circles over here. So these people do not study IT or RE. What is the probability? A student is picked at random. What is the probability that this student studies neither IT or RE? You always get a probability question based on Venn diagrams. So neither IT or RE, so we got 13. And out of the total number of students, we have 80 here. So it'll be 13 out of 80. And that's the answer. ABC is a right angle triangle. AB is 7 centimeters. BC is 12 centimeters. Find the angle ABC. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. So AB is 7. Always label the side so you can see what's going on. BC is 12. I need to find out what angle ABC is. This angle here. Now, sometimes when you get a question like this, without reading the question, people will jump to find the missing side here. And I know a lot of people do that. Okay, that's why always read the last bit of the question. Every single part of the question is important. Okay, now this information deserves a like. Or maybe 10 likes. But anyway, let's get on with this one. So that's why always read the information. So we're finding the angle ABC. Okay, let's label this as theta. Now we can see it's a right angle triangle, and the angle is involved. We're finding a missing angle. That means we need to use TOA. Let's label the sides first. Opposite the right angle we have hypotenuse. Opposite the angle given, well, the angle we are finding is opposite, and the last side is adjacent. Always label it so it's easy to find out which one you're using. Then cancel out. We'll cross out the one you don't need. So we don't need opposite. That's not involved. So A and H is involved. So we're going to use K. Okay. So when you find missing angle, you write theta cos inverse 1 adjacent over hypotenuse. Let's substitute the values in. So cos inverse 1. A is 7 and H is 12. Type this in your calculator. Make sure you press shift inverse, well, shift then cos. That will give you cos inverse 1, and then 7 divided by 12, and that will give you an answer of 54.3146 degrees. And it's asking us to round the answer to 3 significant figures. So let's 1, 2, 3. Look at the number after the line is 4 or less, so we don't need to add a 1. So that will be 54.3 degrees. By the way, also check out my calculator hacks video. It gives a lots of different types of calculator hacks or tips, and it will help you save a lot of time in your exam. Next, let's do this one first. Another Venn diagram. If you didn't have Venn diagram in paper 1 and 2, most likely they will come up in paper 3. So complete the Venn diagram with the information given below. So universal set, even numbers less than 20. A is 2, 4, 8, 12, and B is 4, 6, 10, 16. Write the elements that are in A union B. So let's fill out the information first. Okay, so let's have a look what is common between A and B. So we have 4 here and 4 here. So they both have 4 in common. So that goes in the middle. And nothing else is common. So we've got 2, 8, and 12 belongs to A. 2, 8, and 12. And 6, 10, and 16. So 6, 10, and 16 belongs to B. Now, even numbers less than 20, and that's the universal set. So because of even numbers less than 20, our universal set, there are still more numbers that we need to write down outside the circle. So we've got 2, 4, 8, 6. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 14 is not there, so 14 will go outside. So let's write down 14 here. 14, 16 is there, 18 is not in this list, so we write 18 outside here. Okay, so write the elements that are in A union B. So we got all the numbers in A and B and everything that they share between them. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 16. These are all the numbers, and A intersection B is only the one they share in common, so which is 4. and that's it. You could also get a probability question based on these Venn diagrams, so make sure you practice those as well. We had a look at one previously. Next, find the area of the shape below, and we've got a trapezium. Got two parallel lines on both sides. Okay, and first of all we need to know the formula, because you will not be given the formula in your exam. So area of trapezium, we know it is A plus B times by height divided by 2. So we can label this as A, this is B, and this is H. Okay, some people will make a mistake of labeling this 6 and 6 as height. It's always a vertical height, a straight height. Okay, so let's add 8 and 12. So 8 add 12 times this by the height, which is 5, then divided by 2. You can type this all in your calculator, or you can just simplify it, and add 12 is 20 times by 5 divided by 2. When I get an easy calculation like this, I always try to do it here. So 2 goes into 20, 10 times 5 is 50. Always double check using your calculator, which is centimeters squared. Always double check all the units are centimeters, so you don't need to change them, change the units. So answer is 50 centimeters squared. Write 143 out of 292 as a percentage. Leave your answer to one decimal place. So 143 out of 292 as a percentage is out of 100 times by 100. And this question actually telling you what to do. Pretty straightforward question. And if you type this in your calculator, that will give us 48.972. And if you round it to one decimal place, because it's asking you to round to one decimal place, so we need one number after the decimal. So we've got one number after the decimal. Draw the line. Look at the number after the line is 5 or over, so we need to add 1 to the 9. Add 1. That becomes 10. That means we need to carry forward 1 here. Okay, so that becomes 49. And a 0 here, 49.0. Because it is asking us to round to one decimal place, always make sure you write down, even if it's 0, make sure you write down the 0 here. Okay, it shows that you have rounded the answer. Number 36, expand and simplify. So 3 times, let's zoom in a little bit. So 3 times 5x and 3 times 5. So 3 times 5x is 15x. And then 3 times 5 plus 5 is plus 15. Always look at the sign. Minus 2 times 4x is minus 8x. And minus 2 times minus 3, two negatives times together gives a positive, is plus 6. Now let's simplify the answer. So we got, let's collect the like terms. I always try to put them in different shapes so I know which one I'm looking at. So these two and these two. Okay, so 15x take away 8x is 7x, and 15 add 6 is 21. 7x add 21. And that's your answer. Next, we have a vector question. On the grid, draw the vector 3c. So we got c there, we need to draw 3c. Now, I'm going to try and get a ruler out. Yeah, make sure you take your equipment. If you haven't watched the equipment video, what equipments do you need for your GCSE Maths? Check out my equipment video. It's really old, but it's quite helpful. By the way, if you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you hit that like button. Okay, so 1, you can count how many goes diagonal. So go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to 3c will mean 3 times 3, which is 9 across. Okay, so we can start from, now in this ruler, it's very difficult to get it and spot on because I have changed the size of the graph. So let's start from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this might not be accurate because I've changed the size of the squared grid. Therefore, this might not be right, and I can see it's not right because it's ending up here. But when you draw it with a ruler on an A4 paper, what would happen is it's going to end up on a corner. Okay, so make sure you just count how many squares you go in diagonal. So if it's 3c, then go 3 times 3. If it says on the grid draw the vector 2c, then you times it by 2, so 2 times 3, because it's 3 going across. That will give us. But the other way we can draw this is, if I find the vector, column vector, we go 1, 2 across, 1, 2, 3 up. Let me get rid of this. Okay, I was trying to do it the quickest way, but let's do it the other way, and in that way you will get it, definitely get it right. So go 1, 2 across, and 1, 2, 3. So 2 across and 3 up. That means we have to times everything by 3 because we're finding 3c, which is 3 times of it. So times by 3, which is 6 across, times by 3, which is 9 up. So let's start from this point. So it's on the grid, so it can be anywhere on the grid. So let's get rid of the ruler. So we're going 6 across, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we're going to go 9 up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is your end point, and this is your starting point. Let's see if the ruler works now. So I'm going to join these 2 points up. Yeah, it does. That was much easier. Okay, and label it as 3c. Okay, make sure you put the arrow there anywhere on the line. Okay, so that was that. Write the vector c as a column vector. So vector c as a column vector, we already answered this, but let's do it again. So we go 1, 2 across, so that'd be 2 across first, going to the right, so it's positive 2, and 1, 2, 3 up. So 2, 3. So always remember, if you're going right, it's positive. Going left, it is negative. Going up is positive. Going down is negative. The first number at the top presents a cross. Okay, so the 2, we went 2 across, so across right, and positive 3 means it's going up. If it's negative, goes left, and if it's negative, the second number will be going down. Okay. Next, yes, you guessed it right. It's a pie chart. Now I don't have a protractor for this one, but I'll do all the calculation so you can work it out. So let's zoom in a little bit. A group of football fans were asked what their half-time snack was. The table shows information about their answers. Draw a pie chart for the information shown in the table. Now, if you don't have a pie chart question in paper 2, 1 or 2, then there's a good chance you will possibly have one in your test. A possibility. I'm not saying you're going to have one, but there is a possibility. Now, burger 11, we've got the frequency, and 17 and 8. Now we need to find out the degrees. So for burger, so we got burger, we have, well, you need to find out total number of fans first. So if you add them all together, that gives us 36. So the total is 36. So we have burger 11 out of 36, and you times it by 360 because the circle adds up to 360 degrees, and that gives us an answer of 110 degrees. Then we have a pi. Well, pi is 17 out of 36 times it by 360. Okay, and that gives us an answer of 170 degrees. These are the angles of the pie chart that we're finding now. And hot dog is 8 out of 36 times by 360. Okay, so that gives us 80 degrees. Okay, I don't think I have a protractor here, only a ruler. PowerPoint needs to get a protractor here. But anyway, now what you're going to do is, now we already got the degrees for the angle of the pie chart. So we've got 110, 170 and 80. You are going to place your protractor over here. So the middle of your protractor will go here, and then you're going to look at 110. Make sure you look at the right number 110, not the inside, the outside. So that's going to give us, well, probably 90 here. So it's going to probably come around about here. So I'm going to do a rough one. Don't take this as the correct answer. I'm just doing it because that's 110 approximately. Make sure you label it. So that was burger. So label it with burger. Getting hungry now. Who likes a bit of a burger? Chicken burger is my favorite. Pi is 170. So that's 180. If I draw a straight line here, that's 180. Just slightly less than 170. So that'd be about here. That's 170. And that will be pi. And the last one is 80 we got. So this looks about right. This is 90 degrees. And we have 80. So slightly less. So quite good at estimating things. So let's label this as 80. Okay, if you're not sure how to use a protractor, make sure you double check. Discount for teachers. But anyway, 80 degrees. And this is hot dog. Next, round, okay, number 32. Use your calculator to work out this calculation. Now, when I do this one, always remember, press the square root button first, then fraction button, and then enter the numerator and the everything on the denominator. Okay, and once you enter that, that will give us the answer. It says write down all the figures on your calculator display. Also, watch my calculator hacks video. I'll put it on the links in the in the comments or in the description. Make sure you watch it. I'll also add the playlist on the top right. The GCSE Maths revision videos for foundation GCSE Maths, and there are some also higher GCSE Maths videos as well. And if you type this in your calculator, that will give you 2.75603,957. Okay, all the digits on your calculator display, and it's asking you to round it to two significant figures. So we got 1, 2. Draw the line. Look at the number after the line is 5 or over, so you need to add a 1 to this. That will give us an answer of 2.8, and that's the answer. Find the volume of the prism. So before you find the volume of the prism, you need to work out the area of this cross section, the grey section, and then you can multiply by 8. So there's a compound shape, so let's split it here. And first of all, need to find the length and width of the shape so that we can multiply and find the area. Let's call this shape A, and let's call this shape B. Shape A, let's find the sides. 7 centimeters, the length. The width is 2 centimeters. Because this is 2, so this is 2 as well. So 7 times 2 is 14 centimeters squared. B, we have this length is 3, and this bit, the diagonal, well, the horizontal, not horizontal, the vertical line here is going to be 5. All of it's 5. We take away 2, so we'll look at horizontal by horizontal. So 5 take away 2, which is 3 centimeters. So we can see it's a square. So area of B is going to be 3 times 3, which is 9 centimeters squared. Okay, now let's add the auto area. So 14 add 9, which gives us an answer of 23 centimeters squared. Okay, now we can just multiply it by the length of the shape, the 3D shape. of the prism. So 23 times by 8, and that gives us an answer of 184 centimeters cubed, and the unit is centimeters cubed. Next we have ABC is a right angle triangle. AB is 5.8, so let's label it 5.8 AB. AC is 9.2, so 9.2. Find the length of BC, find the length of BC, and it's a right angle triangle. There are no other angles involved apart from the right angle triangle, it says in the information. So we're going to use Pythagoras. Unlike the other question, it was quite confusing until you read the last part of the question, which was on trigonometry. Okay, so we label the size now. So we're finding BC. So we can say, we can label as x if you want. Yeah, so that's the missing side we're finding. So x squared or BC squared, whichever you prefer, is equal to 5.8 squared added to 9.2 squared. Then x will be square root of 5.8 squared added to 9.2 squared. And what you can do is now you can type this all in your calculator and we'll give you the answer, which is 10.87566. Rounded to 3 significant figures. We are getting a lot of rounding questions, so always remember how to round them. So that will give us 1, 2, 3. Draw the line after the 3 significant figures. 0 counts as significant because it's after the 1. If you started with 0, it will not count as significant. So it's 5 or over, so we add 1 to the 8. Okay, so that gives us 1, 0.8 add 1 is 9. 10.9 centimeters. And that's the answer. Oops, lost that bit. Okay, so next we have a circle. So find the area, give your answer to 1 decimal place. So area circle, we need to use pi r squared. So use a pi in the calculator because the calculator question, unless it says the question, leave it in terms of pi, or it gives a special value for pi. Just use the pi button on your calculator. So at the bottom, you will need to press shift and then the pi button. Okay, so pi radius is 5.5, already given, so which is 5.5 squared, and that gives us an answer of 95.03317. We need to round to 1 decimal place, so that will give us 95.0 centimeters squared. Find the circumference, giving your answer to 1 decimal place. So we got the rate. Well, to find the circumference, we need to use the formula pi times by the diameter. So the diameter is double the radius. So if you've got 5.5 as your radius, just double it. That gives us 11 centimeters. So pi times diameter, which is 11, and that gives us an answer of 34.5575575 centimeters. Because it's the radius, well, it's circumference, it's not squared. We only find the perimeter of the circle, the length of the circumference. So 34.6 round to 1 decimal place. So we need to add a 1 to this because it's 5 or over. So 1 number after the decimal. So 34.6 centimeters. And that's the answer. Next we have a quadratic graph. Well, not quadratic graph, a linear graph. On the grid, draw the graph y equals half x plus 3 for x values from -1 to 3. Now I'm going to skip this question because I have got the same question on my calculator hacks, including the quickest way to do it using a calculator. So please do check it out. The link will be on the description. So I'm not wasting the time here. So I'm going to go to the other ones now. Write 36 as a product of its prime factors. So do a factor tree. 36 could be 4 and 9, could be 2 and 18. I always like to start with smaller numbers. It's easy to manage. So 2 and 18, even number. Divide by 2 again, 2 and 9. Always circle the prime numbers. So you know when it comes to writing your answer, you know look which numbers you're looking at. 3 times 3 is 9. We've got the numbers. So 36 can be written as 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And it's really easy to find out what numbers I'm looking for. If you don't circle them, you might mistakenly write say 9 or 18 even, and that will just make your answer wrong. Or you can write it as a power, so 2 squared times by 3 squared. Okay. Next we have a similar shape question. Now when it comes to similar shape, straight away the first thing comes to my head is scale factor. So triangle ABC is a triangle, and triangle DEF are similar. So these two triangles are similar. Work out the length of DE. So we need to work out the length of DE, this length here. Okay, now before we do that, we need to find the scale factor. So we need to find a side of the both triangles that are given so that we can work out the scale factor. So the scale factor is going to be the smaller side, the bigger triangle side divided by small triangle side. So always bigger shape divided by small shape. Then I will give you the scale factor. So 16 divided by 6.4, and that gives us an answer of 2.5. That's the scale factor now. Now we can find out what D is by multiplying it by the corresponding side, which is AB. So AB and D are corresponding. But corresponding basically means which side represents the same side on the bigger one. So 7.5 times by the scale factor, which the bigger one is 2.5 times bigger, and that gives us an answer of 18.75 centimeters. The answer is 18.75 centimeters. Work out the length AC. Now we're going to work out the length AC, this length here on the smaller triangle. Now when you're working out a smaller shape missing length, that means you have to divide the bigger corresponding side by the scale factor. So the bigger side, which is DF, divided by the scale factor, which is 2.5, and that will give us AC, which is 4 centimeters, and that's the answer for this one. Now at this point, all the questions are going to get to foundation only. So if you did doing higher, you can still have a watch these videos. It will help you refresh your mind on some basic facts. Okay, so find the value of E. You can see it's an isosceles triangle, and because we've got these two lines here, so we're finding E. And we've got 104 here. Now that's a straight line, so we know angles in a straight line up to 180 degrees, 80 degrees, so 180 degrees. So we need to find this angle here, the one I just labeled now. So 180 take away 104. That gives us an answer of 76 degrees. 76. Now because it's an isosceles triangle, the base angles are the same, so this is 76 as well. Now to find E, what we need to do is add 76 and 76. So 76, add 76. And that will give us an answer of 152. If it's a calculator question, always double check. I always like doing things in my head. Then again, I do make mistakes sometimes. So to find E, we need to take away from 180 degrees. So 180 take away 152, because angles in a triangle are to 180 degrees. And that gives us 28 degrees. So E is 28 degrees. And that's the answer for this one. Next, oops. Start from the bottom one, and then we can go on to the mean question. So there are 20 green beads, 12 red beads, and 3 purple beads in a bag. A bead is picked at random. What is the probability? What is the probability it is green? So probability we know is out of the how many we have in total. So we need to add 20 and 12 and 3, and that gives us a total of 35. And we are looking at green. So green we have 20. So 20 out of 35. Now in a probability question usually doesn't tell you to simplify it, but even if you, well, if it doesn't, you don't need to. I'll go ahead and simplify it. I'll divide by 5 top and bottom, gives us 4 over 7. Okay, so you can write the answer 4 over 7. That's the probability of picking a green. What is the probability that it is not red? So red is 12 of them, so we're not going to choose, well, include red in our probability. So let's just add green and purple. So green is 20, purple is 3, which got 23. Okay, so 23 out of the total we have 35 from before that we added up. So 23 out of 35 is the answer. So probability of red is 23 out of 35. Next, estimating the mean, a very common GCSE Maths question, foundation and higher. So this one is find the mean. They could also have estimating the mean. The difference between the two questions is in estimating you'll have class intervals. For example, you could add possibly like 5 greater than or smaller than x as well. X is greater than 5 or less than or equal to 10. So if you have class intervals inside here, then that will be estimate, because you find the midpoint times it by frequency and then add it up and divide by how many there are. This one we only have number of buttons, the exact number, so it's not estimate. So it says find the mean number of buttons in each bag. So let's draw another column here. So number of buttons, frequency, number of button 10, we have 5 lots of them, so 10 times 5 is 50. Let's write down buttons times by frequency. 11 times by 7 is 77. 12 times 3 is 36. And 13 times 1 is 13. Now add the total frequency here and this column here. So that gives us 16, and this one gives us 176. To find the mean, we're going to divide 176. So the mean is 176 divided by 16. That gives us an answer of 11. Okay, so the mean number of buttons in each bag is 11. So we've got 11 buttons in each bag. Next, the ratio of cakes to biscuits in a tin is 6 to 10. What fraction are biscuits? So cakes to biscuits, 6 to 10. Fraction. Okay, so let's find out. Because it's a fraction, we need to add the both ratios together. So total number we have 16. The fraction of biscuits. So biscuits represents, well, 10 of them. So it'd be 10 out of the total, which is 16. Give your answer in its simplest form. Simplify it. Divide top and bottom by 2. That gives us, let's write it here so we know what we're doing. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. 5 over 8 is the answer. Okay, you can still hear the fireworks outside. Can you hear it? In your area? Where are you actually watching it from? Which part of UK? If you want to let me know in the comments. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you can hear the fireworks still, a few days later after the bonfire night, we didn't have much of a bonfire night this year, did we? Because of the lockdown, the coronavirus. It's a bit crazy at the moment in schools. Do you have to wear a mask in school? Yes or no? Let me know. But anyway, coming almost to an end of this video. So if you haven't liked it yet, make sure you like it. And also, watch my other videos, the calculator hacks videos, because these are all calculator questions. Well, it's mostly are. So, and I'm hoping that these questions are helping you as well. Now, find the value of angle A and B. So angle A will be opposite, vertically opposite angles are equal. So angle A will be 98 degrees. To find B, we need to take away 98 and 98 from 360, because we know angles around a point add up to 360. Okay, so let's add 98 and 98 degrees. That gives us an answer of 196 degrees. Then take away from 360. That gives us 196. 360 take away 906. 196 degrees will give us 164 degrees. Now, because there's two of them, we need to divide by 2. So 164 degrees divided by 2, and that gives us 82 degrees. So the answer is 82 degrees. Number 22, solve the equations. So dividing by 4, we want to isolate x, so we times by 4 both sides. That gives us x is equal to 28. B, isolate x, we need to take away 3 from both sides first. So that gives us 2x is equal to 9 take away 3 6, divided by 2 both sides. That gives us 2x divided by 2 is x, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the x is 3. You can write x equals, usually it does give you x equals, but I just can write the number. Next, we have a fraction question. Then we've got a stem and leaf. So let's start from the top one. Very easy question. Don't think they give you this type of question very rarely, but even if you did, 7, 4 out of 3. Because the denominator is the same, leave it the same, and 4 out of 3 is 7. Don't make the mistake of writing 7 over 18. Some people will, so don't do that. Okay. 3/5 take away 2/7. Find the common denominator. 5 times 7 is 35. Find the equivalent fraction. So what do I times 5 by to get to 35? Times by 7. So times the numerator by 7. That goes 7 times 3 is 21. What did I do to 7 to get to 35? Times by 5. So times the numerator by 5 as well. 5 times 2 is 10. Denominator is the same. So 21. So denominator stays the same. 21 take away 10 is 11. 11 over 35. Just double check if you can simplify this. If you can't, leave it as is. We can't because the 11 is a prime number. So 11 over 35 is the answer. So next we have a stem and leaf diagram. Now, in the list below are the heights of 18 students in year 10. Draw a stem and leaf diagram to show this information. Now, it does not say in order stem and leaf, but I'll talk about this after I've done this. Okay, so when you draw a stem and leaf diagram, draw the line, look at the smallest number. So smallest number we can see we have 102, and the biggest number we have 145. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. Now these are smallest and biggest numbers. Now we can see what it ranges from, small and big. So we can start from 102. It can be written as 1, 0, and then 2. Okay, then 11, 12, 13, and the biggest number is 145. So we can stop here. 1, 4. Now list the numbers. So cross out one each at a time. 114. So 114. If you want to write the key beforehand, you can do so. Let's write the key. So the key is, let's say 1, 1, and the line, and the 4 means 114 watt. Let's be the heights of 18 students in year 10. Doesn't say the unit, but if it does say, let's say for example, if it says centimeters, you're going to write down centimeters or meters, whichever. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't say here, so we're going to leave it as it is. So that's the key. 128. Here, 103, 103, 119, 119, 127, 136, 145, 142, 130, 128, 115, 128, 108. We're also going to work out the mean, median, sorry, not mean, median and mode as well. There's a question doesn't ask us here, but we will. You might get one of those. Usually it does ask you about to find the median and the mode. So 116 and 112, 112. Okay, now in this question it does not ask you to work out the median or the mode, but if it did, I'll always suggest, well, always, or make an ordered stem and leaf. So we're going to order the numbers now. Made an unordered one, so now we're going to make an ordered stem and leaf. Okay, a bit of a work, but it will help you avoid any mistakes. Okay, so we've got 2, 3 and 8, so 2, 3 and 8 in order. Then we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 9. 2, 4, 5, 6 and 9. Then 7, 8, 8, 8, 7, 8, 8, 8, 0, 2, 6, and then 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5. Now to find the median, so let's write that median. We're going to cross out the numbers from the start and the end. So cross out one each until you meet in the middle. A bit like meet me halfway. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, the end one here, this one, and then this one. So the two numbers, 8. So 128 and 128. They're both the same, so we can say the median is 128. And the mode, which one appears the most? And we can see there's 3 lots of them here. So 128. So the mode is 128 as well. Okay, so we found the median and the mode using a stem and leaf diagram. Next, Alex throws a fair 6-sided dice and then she flips a fair coin. Draw a sample space to show all the possible combinations that she could have. So I always like to draw a table for this type of question. Sample space diagram. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and one more, 6. So this is going to be for the dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 numbers in the dice. Then this is for the coin, head and tail. So that's a coin and the dice. So H and 1. So head and 1. Excuse me. Head and 2, head and 3, head and 4, head and 5, head and 6. Then we got tail 1, tail 2, tail 3, tail 4, tail 5, tail 6. And that's it. We listed excuse me. We listed all the outcomes. All the possible combinations that she could have. So the next we have work out the mean. So the means we have to add them all together. So 7, I'll just do it here. Add. I'm just getting lazy a bit now. Make sure you write it separately. And divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. Got 9 of them all together. Okay, so we got 73 total divided by 9, and that gives an answer of 8.11. 8.1111. So that gives 8.11. That's our answer. So that's the mean. Expand 2x times by 7x is 14x squared, and 2x times by minus 9 is minus 18x. So 14x squared minus 18x. 14x squared minus 18x. That's the answer. We got a number line inequality. So draw the inequality. So minus 1. X is greater than minus 1, but not equal to. So we use two different circles. This is only greater than or less than. And the solid one is greater than or equal to. Sorry, I wrote the same way, those two. This way. And the solid one is greater than, less than, or greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. So minus 1, we got minus 1, so go to minus 1 because only x is greater than that. So we'll draw a hollow circle. And on 4, x is less than or equal to, going to solid one, and just connect these two lines. List the integers which satisfy the inequality in part A. So we can see we got the numbers between, now it cannot include -1, but it can have 0 because it's not equal to. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and it can be equal to 4 because x is less than or greater equal to 4. It can include 4, and these are the numbers. Almost there. So let's do this one first. The shape below is an equilateral triangle. Draw the lines of symmetry on the diagram. So lines of symmetry, equilateral. So we know it's going to have 3. So draw, use a ruler. Okay, so try and get to the middle as possible. Okay. Now I've got angles on this ruler, so it's very easy to know because equilateral triangle, each angle is 60 degrees. Okay, this one is easy because it's just 90 vertical one, and that's very nicely done. And I'll just get that to 30 degrees. Obviously in your exam you won't have a angles one, but as long as you are close enough to your answer. Oops, very fiddly, but there you go, and that's done. 3 lines of symmetry because it's an equilateral triangle. Translate the point P by the vector -3 and 6. So -3 goes to the left, 1, 2, 3, and 6 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here. And your new point is Q. Okay, write down the vector of the translation from point B to A. So B to A, we're going left first. So across first, 1, 2 first. So -2, -2, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. -2 and 4. Make sure you write it in brackets. Do not put the line between -2 and 4. It's not a fraction, it's a vector, column vector. Next. Okay, convert 8:52 p.m. into 24-hour clock. So that'd be 20:52. No AM or PM because it's 24-hour clock. Convert 16:38 into 12-hour clock. So now we need a PM because it's 16 after 12. So it's PM after midday, past midday. Do you know what PM and AM means? Let me know in the comments. I've already said one of them. Let me know what the other one is. 4:38 PM. Alice has a list of jobs to do. Okay, you can see she has a lot of things to do: cleaning, shopping, cooking, and we've got the work calls and time taken. Alice will start the list of jobs at 9:30 and will take 45 minutes break. A 45-minute break, and Alice needs to finish by 2 PM. Does she have enough time? So let's first of all work out how long she's spending doing all these chores. So 1 hour 70 minutes. I'm going to convert them into minutes so it's easier to understand. So 70 minutes. 60 add 10 is 70. 3/4 is 45 minutes. And then 35 minutes is already in minutes. And 1 hour 0.5 hours is 1 hour 30 minutes, which is 90 minutes. Add them all together. That gives us 240 minutes. Okay. Now she takes a 45. We'll take a 45-minute break. So that means 240 add 45. That gives us 285 minutes. Okay. Now we're going to convert this into hours. So 285 divided by 60, and that gives us 4.75 hours. Now there might be other ways of doing this question, but I find it easy this way. Now 4 hours is whole, and 0.75 is going to be 3/4 of an hour, which is 45 minutes. So we can say it's 4 hours 45 minutes. Okay, Now we need to add it to 9:30 and check whether it finishes before 2 p.m. Okay, so if we add this to 9:30, that goes up to 10:30, 11:30, 12:30 and 1:30, and then add 45 minutes, that goes up to 2, 1:30, 2:15, so it's over. Okay, so therefore Alice does not have enough time. Yep, so does not have enough time. She's over by about 15 minutes. Okay, so next, a bar chart. Table shows information about students' favorite sport. So we got all this information here. Okay, I'm going to do this very quickly. Make sure you label the size. So it says information about students' favorite sport. So we've got favorite sport. And then we have frequency. So let's write down frequency here. And then at the bottom we have sport. So the bottom bit, x-axis will represent sport. Okay, so we have football. Make sure you draw the axes. Okay, use a pencil and ruler always. If you make a mistake, you can correct it. If you don't use pencil and ruler, it's a bit below that, but anyway, you get the idea. So let's label the football first. So 10. So it's up to, let's label the frequency first. 1. Let's get rid of the drawer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so football we got up to 10. So over here up to 10. So I'm just going to quickly do this. So make sure you use a pencil and ruler. So up to 10 over here. So that's football. Swimming is 5. So up to 5 here. Swimming. Tennis is 7. So we got tennis is up to 7. Make sure you got the right point. 7. Sorry about the mess. Badminton 6. Up to 6 here. Make sure you have the gaps between them because they're all separate. Squash is 4. Squash is up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the worst bar chart ever. But anyway, you can do better than mine. Use pencil and ruler. Okay. Find the perimeter of the rectangle. So we know rectangle, opposite sides are the same. 9 centimeters, 8 centimeters. Add them all together. So 9, add 9, add 8, add 8. And that will give us a total answer of 34 centimeters. Okay, so 34 centimeters. A pentagon is drawn on a centimeter square grid. Work out the area of the pentagon. So we can see up to here all the full squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 over here. We've got 2 full ones here. So 2. Over here, this is cut into half. So let's draw a square there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're halving it because a triangle is half of a square. So we got 2 there. So 6 add 2 is 10 centimeters square. So it'll be 10 centimeters squared. Okay, that's the answer for that one. Almost getting there. Round 46 to the nearest 10, that'd be 50. Round 1674 to the nearest 100, which is, look at the 100th value, to the nearest 100, which is 6, and look at the number after the 6 is more than 5, so we're going to round it to 1700 or 1700. So you can choose one starter and one main. we'll write all the possible combinations John could have. So we can have garlic bread with all three. So garlic bread and pizza and garlic bread and carbonara and garlic bread and chili. Then we can have prawn toast pizza, prawn toast carbonara, prawn toast chili. Prawn toast pizza, prawn toast carbonara and prawn toast chili. Okay, here are a list of numbers. Come and speak now. I've been doing this video for so long. But anyway, almost there. Write down the prime numbers. We got 11 and 37. So 11 or 37, any one of those. So write down a prime number. Okay, so any one of them we do. Write down a square number. So we have 49. 49 here. Ooh, last page. Yes. Write 2,368 in words. Just read the number and that will give us the answer. Try to get the spelling right. I don't think you get penalized for the spelling mistake, but I try to get it right. 2,368. That's my son, by the way, screaming his head off. Write the coordinate of point A. So you go 1 across and 1, 2 up. So 1 across, 2 up. Always remember across first, then up or down. Okay, a lot of people make the mistake of writing up and down first, then across. So 2, 1, you lose a mark. Okay, point B has a coordinate 5, 3. Draw the point B. So let's start from the origin. So 5, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So over here. So right, label it as point B. Make sure you label it clearly. And point C has the coordinate 4, minus 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 2 means 2 down, 1, 2. So that's point C. And we labeled point C as well. Okay, so that was the end of this revision video. Okay, this is a last minute GCSE Maths revision video. Make sure you attempt the questions first and then look at the answers. This will help you. Some of the easy questions, you probably just need to look at it once. And also don't forget to like the video, please. And it helps me motivate, because I know people are benefiting from this. Then let me know if you like it. Then it gives me an indication that you are liking it. It is helping you. That means I will make more videos. Okay, all I will say, good luck with your exam. You got this and you will do your best. Okay, that's it all for today, and see you in the next video. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, and share this video with your friends. Help each other out, and let me know in the comments how your exam was. Mr. Mahmud, helping you do better in maths. Wow, this video was 1 hour and 28 minutes long.